Get straight across to Power Minister Piyush Goyal speaking to CNBC-TV18's Farah, Bookwala, Vhora.
I want to start by asking you that 7 discoms are now brought under the Uday scheme, and a little while ago while we were discussing, you were talking about several other states as well being brought on board. Can you help us understand which states would be ready to join the Uday scheme, and what kind of incentives are you offering these, these states to sort of lure them under the Uday scheme, because that seems to have a lot of promise, as you pointed out in your earlier conference?
No, first of all, I think the data needs to be corrected. 18 states had already agreed to join Uday and 1 union territory. There were nearly 12 some states and some union territories which did not have a separate discom. They were a part of the state government itself as a utility, like we had the Maharashtra State Electricity Board earlier. So 12 of them are coming under that framework. So there were only these 5 states which went to polls, and maybe 1 or 2 more states which had not yet joined Uday. I don't lure anybody. It's a voluntary scheme. Why should I be wanting to lure them? I have brought out a scheme. This government of the central government has brought out a scheme in consultation with all stakeholders. It's a scheme prepared by the stakeholders themselves to benefit the states and the people of the states. In a federal structure, the center is not trying to impose anything on them. It's for the state to choose. If they want to serve their people better with 24/7 affordable power, then it's good for them to join Uday. If they still choose not to join Uday, I don't have to lure them. But the people of that state will ensure that they want to join Uday.
Sure, sir. So, as far as coal linkages for power plants go, help us understand the finer contours of the auctions, and help us understand when is it that the Power Ministry would be finally seeking approval from the Cabinet, because this is something that has been on the anvil for some time now.
Well, as you're aware, the auction of the non-regulated sector will be launched next month. As far as the regulated sector goes, by and large, there's no shortage of coal as such. So the hurry is no more there. Every power plant in the country has sufficient stocks of coal. In fact, we are approaching power plants to lift coal. Otherwise, last 4 months I have had to regulate coal production given the excess inventory that we have. So we have converted a country of shortages to a country of surpluses already, and imports are drastically falling. Last year we saved 24,000 crores of imports of coal. This year our target is to save 40,000 crores of coal imports. Having said that, we certainly would like to give more certainty to the availability of coal, for which we are working on the contours of a final policy. Largely it will help states which want to bid out fresh power purchase agreements. So we'll give out coal to the state, and they can offer that coal and allow power plants to bid for supplying electricity, and whoever supplies it at the lowest cost can then become eligible to get that linkage. So states will be given the linkage.
Sure.
Further, states will be given coal linkages which they can use for their own power plants, or through a process they can give to other plants in their state. And lastly, there are many companies which have power purchase agreements but don't have an assured supply of coal. You're trying to work on a framework where there'll be an auction even of coal linkages to such companies, and they can bid transparently and see if they can assure their coal supply.
So a little while ago, a journalist friend asked, in fact, that what is it that, what are your top 3 priority areas over the next 2 years that are to come? And one of the points that you mentioned, in fact, the very first, was the generation of hydro and wind energy. Over the next 12 months, that's going to be a priority area. Can you outline the steps that you are going to specifically take in order to sort of give thrust to these 2 areas? Because we've seen enough thrust on the solar side, but not enough on these 2 areas.
No, there has been thrust on these 2 also, but it was facing certain resistance, which now over the last year, with the resounding success of solar and the bidding process that we initiated in solar, has possibly finally helped the other sectors also realize that they should consider going the solar way. So now the wind manufacturers and wind developers are themselves talking to us that maybe we should initiate the bidding process also for wind, which we are now in the stage of finalizing. Cost plus is basically an inefficient way of doing things.
Right.
And for hydro, it is understandable because of the intricate